Good morning, everybody! Or good evening, I should say. So, what a wonderful day to be alive. Somebody was asking me the other day, where did I get the name Ransom Jones, my alter ego? And it inspired me because I've shared the story of how I've come up with the name a few times, but I don't think I've ever shared it online, and part of me wants to still have some secrecy behind how I came up with the name, and maybe I'll take this video down and only the people that were here at the beginning will know where Ransom Jones came from. But anyways, I've been playing music now, I would say almost 13 years. And when I originally started playing music, I just thought I need some sort of stage name. And I don't know why I thought this, but I thought about how Bob Dylan has a stage name, or how other bands have just band names. So I thought, well, I want to create this stage name. And it's turned into more than just a stage name to me. But when I was learning how to play music, and when I was first starting out, I had a blog, and on my blog I had where I would take a lot of photos to make sure I posted with my blog and posted with my short stories that I posted, and that's up on the internet somewhere, archived as well. If you are interested in that, let me know and I could share some of those stories. But anyways, I was actually by my grandma's, who was lived like, I think it was Southern Illinois, and she lived like in the middle of nowhere, and there was nothing really to do except go take some of these pictures. And so I went exploring around, just driving around in the countryside, and I came upon a cemetery. And the cemetery, it was one of those cemeteries that don't have a fence around it, one of those cemeteries that it's just, they have people there from, that have been dead a long time, I would say. Been there since the 1800s, and so I'm just walking around. Some of these gravestones are just not even upkept. They have like moss growing on them. I would say the grass was mowed, but just the gravestones itself, you could tell were outdated or haven't been paid attention to in a while. And as I'm walking around, I wasn't necessarily looking for a stage name while I was out there, but I guess maybe I was, because I came upon a gravestone, and it was more like a statue, and it was talking about this. It was the statue of this guy on a horseback, and his name was Ransom Baker, and it talked about how he had discovered this town and helped settle the town, and he was a postman, and part of moving west and part of communication, had to do with the post offices moving where people could get information, because that was one of the main ways people got information back then. And it talked about how he discovered the town and him being a postman. And my dad was a postman, and my dad he passed away when I was young, right? He passed away when I was in first grade. So I feel like that happening has helped me become who I am today. But that just had a lot of meaning through that. So I was like, I like that. And so I liked the name Ransom and Ransom Baker. So I wrote it down. I took it with me. I made a mental note. And then, I toyed around with Ransom Baker for a little while. I was like, no, I don't want to take somebody's actual name. And then I thought about, Ransom Jones, and I don't know where Jones came from, but Jones, I think it came from, just like the everyman or the common man, or just a name like Smith or something like that, where you would think, hey, this might be a real person, in terms of somebody who's out there living their life and out there in the world. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like it just sounds like an outlaw type name, and I'm always attracted to the type of outlaw. And with Ransom Jones, the words actually have different meanings, right? And so ransom, it could mean holding somebody for ransom, like give me the ransom, give me the money, or else I won't give you your loved one back. Or it could also mean, one of the meanings that I read at the time was deliverance, right? So I really, really liked that, just that word, deliverance. And, for a while that was going to be album title that I would release, and maybe it still will be, who knows. And then Jones, it has multiple meanings as well within, the everyman, keeping up with the Joneses. Also, just the being addicted, right? So if somebody's jonesing on heroin, right, that's this addiction, right? And so I just was really drawn to those definitions and those meanings behind the words, as well as just, I feel like it has a catchy ring to it. And so Ransom Jones and deliverance from addiction, and just almost like the deliverance from this pain or this mediocrity that we experience, or maybe not. And yeah, maybe I am victim of that, or guilty of it every now and then as well, right? We're perfect, but we're not perfect, and that's the beauty behind it. And so just that name evolved, and I feel like it's almost allows me to step into a character. It allows me to step into somebody that, hey, this is who I see myself as, and this is almost like, if you gave yourself a name as a superhero, right? And not necessarily like thinking of myself as a superhero, but how you would think of yourself if you were a superhero, and just what would that look like, and how would you talk, and how would you act, and how would you interact with people, and it just brings this different energy to it than having my regular name, and I can have this name can have its own personality, and my GPS is going off, and I can have my own personality when I step into that name. And that's why one of my first album that I came out with is called The Alter Ego, right? Because it's just this almost like this alternate personality or alternate person that we could step into, but not stepping into it in a bad way, but stepping into it in a way of, hey, this is somebody that by stepping into this type of person, it empowers you. And that's my goal with music, is to really express that feeling or express that emotion, or to be able to tell a story that's unique and in a way that maybe you've heard before, but maybe you haven't, or maybe you hear it from me in a way that just clicks for you a little bit differently than you've heard it before. And just, I think about some of my favorite music, and it's just music that really resonates with me, or really matters to me, and sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's all of those in one, right? Sometimes it tells a story, sometimes it's something you can dance to, sometimes it's, you can't even really describe it, but you when you hear the song, you go, that is exactly how I feel. And this person right here, through this music, is able to articulate that so much more than how I could ever express it. But by them even articulating it, or even playing it through their instruments, that just allows me to know that, hey, somebody else out there feels this exact way, right? But they were just able to create and design something that expresses exactly what I want to express, or helps me get into a mood that I want to be in based on how they are expressing that. So little long story to the name and where it came from with Ransom Jones. And, you know, if you like this kind of behind the scenes and you made it till the end, you know, give you a little Air 5, and love you for following me and listening, and I appreciate you. And let me know if you'd like to hear more kind of behind the creation of, you know, a song, or behind something that I do. And I will just don't want to hit anybody with my car as I'm driving here. I will talk to you soon. See you next time.